Ladies and gentlemen, this is WrestleScope, your #1 source for the raw, unfiltered truth in professional wrestling. I'm your host, Salvador, and tonight we are diving headfirst into what can only be described as a travesty, a disgrace, an absolute outrage that has the entire WWE universe boiling with rage. If you're a true wrestling fan, you're about to get fired up, because what happened in that ring is nothing short of robbery. Penta El Zero Miedo, the high-flying luchador sensation, pulls off an epic upset over the colossal Bronson Reed. But wait, hold on. Epic? Upset? Call it what it really is, a stolen victory, handed on a silver platter thanks to LA Knight's vicious, underhanded ambush. Yeah, you heard that right. The so-called megastar slithered in like a snake and turned a fair fight into a farce. This isn't wrestling. This is betrayal. This is why fans are screaming for justice. If this doesn't make your blood boil, if this doesn't have you pounding your fist and demanding answers, then what are you even doing here? Stick around because we're breaking it all down, exposing the dirt and revealing a twist that will blow your mind. Share this video right now if you're as pissed as I am. Let's make WWE hear us. Hit that play button and don't you dare click away. Okay, folks, let's set the stage for this catastrophe. We're talking about Monday Night Raw, the flagship show where dreams are made and legends are born, or in this case, where integrity goes to die. Bronson Reed, the Australian powerhouse, the man they call Big Bronson, has been dominating the scene like a tsunami crashing through the roster. This guy is 330 pounds of pure destruction, with moves like the tsunami splash that can flatten anyone in seconds. He's been on a tear, splashing opponents left and right, building momentum toward what many thought would be a title shot. Reed's not just big, he's agile, he's mean, he's the future of WWE's heavyweight division. Fans love him for his no-nonsense attitude. He doesn't need gimmicks, he lets his fists do the talking. But then there's Penta El Zero Miedo, the masked marvel from south of the border, bringing that lucha libre fire to WWE. Penta's all about speed, agility, and that fearless style that has him diving off the top rope like a human missile. He's got this Cero Miedo chant echoing through arenas, tattoos telling stories of battles won, and a resume that includes tag team gold and international acclaim. Penta's the underdog here, no doubt, smaller in stature but massive in heart, or so we thought. This match was billed as a clash of styles, power versus precision, brute force versus aerial assault. It had all the makings of a classic. But oh no, enter LA Knight, the self-proclaimed "yeah" guy with his shades, his swagger, and apparently a grudge that knows no bounds. Why the grudge? Let's rewind a bit. LA Knight and Bronson Reed have history. Just weeks ago, on SmackDown, Reed interrupted one of Knight's promo segments, calling him out for being all talk and no walk. Knight, ever the opportunist, responded with a cheap shot that escalated into a brawl. But Reed got the upper hand, tsunamiing Knight through a table in a post-match melee. Knight's been nursing that ego bruise ever since, vowing revenge. "Let me talk to ya," he'd say, but behind the mic, he's plotting. And Penta? He's been floating around the mid-card, hungry for a big win to propel him up the ranks. Rumors swirled that Penta had been talking trash about Reed backstage, calling him a slow-moving target. This match was set up as a qualifier for an upcoming tournament. Winner gets a shot at glory. The hype was real, the stakes were high. But what unfolded? Pure chaos, and not the good kind. As the bell rings, the arena is electric. Reed comes out first, pounding his chest, roaring like a beast unleashed. The crowd is mixed, some cheering the big man, others wary of his destructive path. Then Penta's music hits, that haunting, rhythmic beat that gets everyone chanting Cero Miedo. He flips over the ropes, strikes his pose, and stares down Reed like he's not intimidated one bit. The ref checks them, signals from the bell, ding ding ding, and we're off. Reed charges like a bull, going for a clothesline, but Penta ducks, hits the ropes, and comes back with a hurricanrana that sends the big man tumbling. The crowd pops, early momentum for the luchador. Reed shakes it off, gets up growling, and this time he catches Penta midair with a massive Samoan drop. Boom! The ring shakes and Penta's writhing in pain. Reed follows up with stomps, each one like an earthquake, targeting the back to ground the flyer. But Penta's resilient. He kips up, dodges a corner charge, and unleashes a flurry of kicks. Chop, chop, super kick. Reed staggers, and Penta climbs the turnbuckle for a crossbody, but Reed catches him. Oh man, powerbomb coming? No. Penta reverses into a DDT. Pin attempt. 1, 2, kick out at 2. The match builds intensity. Reed uses his size advantage, tossing Penta around like a ragdoll. Gorilla press slams, bear hugs that squeeze the life out of him. Penta fights back with enziguris, sling blades, and those signature arm drags that flip the script. About 10 minutes in, Reed has Penta set up for the tsunami splash. He climbs the ropes, the crowd holds its breath, but Reed rolls away. Reed crashes hard, and Penta capitalizes with a fear factor package pile driver. 1, 2, Reed powers out. The near falls are piling up, the fans are on their feet. This is wrestling at its best, or it was, until the lights flicker? No, wait. Out of nowhere, LA Knight's music blares. The megastar struts down the ramp, mic in hand, smirking like he owns the place. The ref's distracted, yelling at Knight to back off. Reed, sensing trouble, turns his back on Penta for just a second, and that's all it takes. Knight slides into the ring, vicious ambush. He nails Reed with a BFT, blunt force trauma, from behind. Reed crumples, the crowd erupts in boos. This is interference at its worst. Knight slides out laughing as the ref turns back just in time to see Penta covering the dazed Reed. 1, 2, 3. The bell rings. Penta wins. Upset, more like theft. The arena is in pandemonium. Penta celebrates, raising his arms in victory, but the fans know better. Boos rain down, chants of bullshit, bullshit echo. Reed, coming to, realizes what happened and explodes. He grabs the ref, demanding a restart, but it's too late. Knight's up the ramp, pointing and yelling "yeah" like he's the hero. Backstage cameras catch Reed destroying lockers, vowing revenge. Penta slips away quietly, but is that a smirk under the mask? This isn't just a match, it's a scandal. Now let's talk outrage. How does WWE let this slide? Where's the GM? Where's the instant replay? This ambush isn't just vicious, it's calculated. Knight didn't just happen to interfere. Sources tell me he's been feuding with Reed for months, and this was payback. But here's where it gets angering. Penta knew, or at least he benefited without protest. Is this the new WWE, where cheaters prosper and hard workers get screwed? Fans, this should make you furious. Remember when interference ruined classic matches like Hogan vs. Andre? This is that level of injustice. Diving deeper into the wrestlers' backstories to fuel your rage. Bronson Reed, real name Jermaine Haley, hails from Adelaide, Australia. He started in the indies, grinding through promotions like Pro Wrestling Australia, building a rep as the Colossal One. Signed to WWE in 2019, he dominated NXT, winning the North American Championship in a gauntlet match that showcased his endurance. Reed's story is inspirational, overcoming weight issues, cultural barriers to become a main roster monster. He's married, has a kid, and represents the everyman who works hard. To see him robbed like this, infuriating. Penta El Zero Miedo, or Pentagon Jr., is a lucha libre icon from Mexico, part of the Lucha Brothers with his brother Rey Fenix. He's held titles in AAA, AEW, MLW, you name it. His Cero Miedo gimmick is about no fear, breaking arms literally with his Fear Factor move, and high-risk maneuvers. But crossing over to WWE, that's huge. Rumors say he left AEW for bigger opportunities, but did he sell out? Accepting a victory like this taints his legacy. And LA Knight, Sean Ricker, the 41-year-old veteran who's finally getting his due. From TNA as Illy Drake to Illy WE, his mic skills are gold. Dummy, yeah, but behind the charisma, a history of opportunism. He's feuded with everyone from The Miz to AJ Styles, always looking for the shortcut. This ambush? Classic Knight. Strike when the iron's hot, or in this case, when Reed's back is turned. Post-match reactions poured in, social media exploded, hashtag Justice for Reed trending worldwide. Fans tweeted WWE is rigged, Knight is a coward. Even fellow wrestlers chimed in. Sami Zayn posted a cryptic emoji of a snake, while Drew McIntyre called it disgraceful. Reed himself went on X, ambushed, more like assaulted, Knight you're dead meat. Penta stays silent, but his brother Phoenix liked a fan post praising the win, shady. But here's the unique twist that will have you re-watching this video. Insider whispers suggest this wasn't random. Word from the locker room is that LA Knight and Penta have a secret alliance. Think about it, both have beef with the establishment. Knight's been overlooked for years, Penta's new and wants a push. What if this ambush was orchestrated by higher-ups? Maybe Triple H himself to shake up the card? Or worse, a betting scandal? I dug into forums and fans are speculating Knight was paid off by Penta's camp. Evidence? A blurry photo from a house show where they were seen talking. Coincidence? I think not. This could be the start of a new faction, the Ambush Alliance, targeting powerhouses like Reed. If true, it's not just outrage, it's conspiracy. Let's analyze why this upset matters. In wrestling, upsets build stars, but tainted ones destroy credibility. Reed was on track for WrestleMania contention, now he's derailed. Penta gets the rub, but at what cost? Fans feel cheated, and that's dangerous. Empty seats drop subscriptions. WWE needs to address this. Fine Knight, reverse the decision, book a rematch. But will they? History says no. Remember the Montreal Screwjob? This feels eerily similar. Expanding on past parallels to amp up the anger. Take the 1997 Survivor Series, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, screwed by Vince McMahon. Fans rioted. Or Edge's cash-ins, opportunistic, but at least in Money in the Bank rules. Knight's attack, no rules, pure thuggery. Compared to AEW's interference-heavy style, WWE was supposed to be better. This event could spark a fan revolt, petitions, boycotts. Imagine if Reed quits in protest, the roster loses a gem. Hypotheticals, what if Reed had seen Knight coming, tsunami on both? Or if the ref DQ'd Penta, justice served. But no, we got robbery. This fuels rivalries. Reed versus Knight at the next pay-per-view, Penta versus versus a vengeful foe? The fallout could reshape WWE. Fan stories at heart. I read comments. I took my kid to Raw. He cried seeing Reed lose like that. As a wrestler from down under, this hurts. Share your stories below. Let's build a community of outrage. To wrap this up, folks, Penta's epic upset over Bronson Reed, courtesy of LA Knight's vicious ambush, is a black mark on wrestling. It's unfair, it's enraging, and it demands action. But with our twist, that potential secret plot, this story's just beginning. Stay tuned to WrestleScope for updates. Now, if this fired you up, smash that like button. Comment below. Was this fair? Who should pay, Knight or Penta? Share this video with every wrestling fan you know. Let's get 1 million views and force WWE to respond. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, don't miss the next bombshell. This is WrestleScope, where the scope is on the truth. Yeah!